Hey guys, this is a ranked match. We're playing, well, it's a replay of a ranked match on Highview. We're playing against Cal Neon. He is playing as English, and we're going to try our trade horse build. So we're going to rush out of Keshik as early as possible, try to slow down his second TC placement, and trade behind the scenes. This was an interesting match because this is an opponent who is Conqueror level, 1500 elo. So we got a really good chance, a really good opportunity to test out our skills on this build, and as well test our skills as well as test this build order against a Conqueror player, and see kind of how well it does, how well it fares. So just our standard 9-2 opening with the Uvu. We don't have a great spawn here. I probably could have moved the TC to protect the gold, but I felt like I was close enough that wasn't really a big issue. If he was pushing into our gold at any point in the game, really, we'd pretty much be over with. Anyways, the battle would be in, or the match would be over anyway, so I wasn't super worried about it. He's dropping a house early. Just kind of standard stuff right now, really. And we're scouting around here, and he's scouting around his east side. So, see, we took a really super aggressive route and took the middle, and we're able to pick up a ton of sheep. And he went to the side over to the east. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll speed up a little bit through this opening phase because there isn't too much to it. It's just kind of the standard 9-2. We are picking up more sheep here, and he's starting to run towards the west side over here, and gonna pick up a couple of sheep over here. He actually doesn't have a lot of sheep to this side, so kind of a good break for us there. After our 9-2, we're dropping 3 villagers on the wood. We're running around the side over here. We're gonna pick up some more sheep. So he's running through the middle, and he's not getting any sheep. So we did a really good job of picking up sheep. Our sheep route was a lot better than his, which was nice. And yeah, after we've dropped, we got 3 villagers on here. Our timing on our town center is fairly close. It's nice being able to drop the TC fairly quick, so we didn't lose too much. And he is scouting out Deerstone now. So he's going to expect kind of an all-in play, but a lot of people have been doing trade behind this recently, so maybe he's not. He does yank our 1 sheep from our base here. And we're checking out over here where he's already scouted and there's no sheep to be had. But we're going to go check out his council hall. It's under TC. It's super safe in terms of his build right here. We, after dropping 3 on wood, we drop 1 onto food, 1 onto gold, and then we just keep rallying onto food until we get up to about 9-10 villagers. We start raiding him over here. We're just getting a little damage in. We have the vision on his main base. We drop the scouting falcon, and we can see that he's tapping up with 3. So there's a possibility that this isn't a all-in play, where he is tapping up fairly quickly. If it's a castle edge play, he's gonna tap up with 2 villagers, usually, or 1. So if he's tapping up with 3, it's kind of a mix play, and he's gonna go for he might be going for a push. He does have to commit to a couple of one longbow because of our con. We do spot him on the mining camp. And now that we've spotted him, we're gonna get aggressive on our push here. And this is the plus side of this build is the aggression factor. And then one thing I'd like to point out, we're about 10 seconds, 15 seconds late on our build order. We did mess up on our wood drop off here, so definitely a bit of a mistake. And then we are going to get our wheelbarrow here shortly. So a little bit late on our Keshiks here. So almost 20-30 seconds later than they should be. So, which translates to us hitting basically right. We could be hitting right now, basically. So at 5:30 they're over here, so we'll see if it takes about 20 seconds to get over here. So we could have been hitting them right about now at 150. stone with a little bit cleaner build order. So that's kind of why the a clean build order is really important early, because it does really change the match's dynamics when you can really change what your opponent wants to do early on. Now that we're on 12 villages on food, we went a little bit heavy. We rotated here. We kind of do, and this is something. Oh no, I'll just slow this down real quick. Um, our opponent is pushed off a stone here. Is at 279. He needs more stone. We're cleaning up this longbow. We do ran our Keshik into a stake, and that was just sloppy micro. There was no need to do that. So that was kind of a big mistake on our part. And then we do a good job backing away from the spearman. So we do have to take this fight and engage. We got a couple more catches coming out, and we're doing things behind the scene. We're trying to get some macro in, because we're floating almost 150 wood at this point, but we ran away too far from this. This was really big. This is too much of a runaway from the spear. We could have stayed and fought this, and so honestly, part of the thing is too, we're kind of taking a weird angle. We should be attacking from over here, from the directly east. So that was a little bit of a mistake on our part. Our wheelbarrow's almost through. We're still running villagers on the food, and we are floating 150 food, and we're not producing another Keshik. So these are little mistakes that are really important. We do take a brace hit here against this one spearman. So again, those little details are really important. You can't take those hits against from your opponent, because it really does mess up your opening really bad. So another thing, again, Keshik still isn't being produced, and we haven't dropped another infrastructure yet. So we're losing. We're really focused on this, and it's one thing to be focused, which is okay. Another thing is to be focused and not take a good engagement at the same time. So we got more Keshiks coming, but we should be pulling over here to the east here. So we would be able to open up the route of attack for our Keshiks from behind. So that's definitely another thing. Another thing too is since we had already seen what our opponent was doing here, we probably could have committed a little bit better into the fight here. You can see, and this is over here is not necessary. It's not a good thing to do. This is good, getting the Keshik to heal up here, but we could have been harassing here completely. We could have been denying the stone collection, making him fight for this, and really slowing him down. So this is definitely a little detail that was needed and missed out on. We are starting to build traders, I believe. Yeah, we're building traders, and that gets rid of our floating wood. But we just building 3 traders immediately. It's kind of sloppy. And then this brace attack here is huge. It basically, you run into a brace here for no reason, and we basically did a really big mistake here because of this. We're able to get his villagers to chase us a little bit here, which is nice, but he's already got enough stone for an age of time now. And this is kind of the little bit of the mistake that we did, is that we could have committed a lot better here in terms of denying this stone, and we didn't. So this is one really big mistake. I guess it's not huge, but it's a big enough mistake that if you play this better, you get this micro engagement a little bit better. This fight goes a lot smoother, and we can deny the stone for second TC. I mean, we've already delayed his second TC pretty significantly. About 2 minutes we've been able to delay it, if not more. But again, it's not ideal here. It's definitely not ideal. We could have stopped more time. So he's tapping up at 720. So we've been able to deny a good amount of time. But see, we're bringing down this mining camp, which isn't a bad thing. But we could have come around this side here and been harassing here as well. That was another thing. Sure, our Keshik would eventually get pushed out and wouldn't be able to do anything. Even a little bit of a slight delay here. A trade, pushing in with these Keshiks here might have been a good idea, slowing us down. Just even a little bit, even the gold mining or whatever, we could have been hitting over here a little bit. Another thing is that our, our we're spending resources here on the market. We do lose a villager to a wolf. Kind of annoying that the villager can just get bitten by a wolf and doesn't defend himself. But it is what it is. Oh, I forgot this. And we ran into we had a bunch of Keshiks here. We have 5 Keshiks, and we decided to run 5 Keshiks into 4 spearmen. And it's a really bad engage. We don't kill any spearmen, and we lose 3 Keshiks there, or 4 Keshiks. 3 Keshiks? 4 Keshiks. 3 or 4 Keshiks. So really bad mistake on our part there, because this is built as super momentum based, and that allows him to be able to push our our trade line here. So some really big mistakes here before 10 minutes, and it's hard to keep track of everything while you're doing it, but the better you get at controlling all of those things, and the cleaner you're going to be able to do against your opponents here. Run into his longbows here in the forest. We're going to fall back here. We are trading. Trade is pretty good here. We're at 60 gold per trade. We've rotated 12 villagers onto deer. We have no more villagers on the TC here. So we did suffer a little bit there, but you can see that we finally get an archery range up. We're building bows up, but at the 9-minute mark, we're starting to build our first set of Mangadai. So again, part of it is because we overcommitted on market building here. If we had gone Keshiks out earlier, if we had built 1 trader and then dropped an archery range and then the rest of our wood into the traders, it would have been a lot better and a lot easier to be able to hold this this push. So that's definitely one big mistake that we did, and it adds up, especially against the players that are good players that are a little bit ahead or that have really good skill. We're not sure if he's gonna go for our trade line, or if he's gonna go for our deer pocket over here. So we dropped a tower just in case. It will also give us yam or to speed things up. And we see him over here pushing us. We are dropping emergency outposts over here to secure the markets themselves. And it's not a huge army, but he's got 6 spearmen and 3 longbows. So again, this is kind of an army where if you have like a few archers, you can fight this pretty comfortably. But with Mangadai and Keshik, you have to be pretty careful about how you engage this fight and fall back. Over here we have our initial massive Keshik. That should be 3 more Keshik deep, actually. Really unfortunate. But we're able to get a nice little burn down here. It's nice, helps to keep him housed here for a little bit. But again, little bit of a mistake. We're able to kind of hold him over here. Trying to do our best to hold this. And we're getting little raids here. You can see once we dive here, we get a pretty good amount of damage, but we fall back. If we had again 4 more Keshiks here from that initial push, we'd be sitting in a lot prettier spot here. So he's killing our trade line. He's getting a good amount of villager kills here on the trade line, but we've got triple ranges out now, so we're gonna be able to produce the Mangadai that we need to really push this back. And the Keshik is just kiting away, and we're bringing our cav up here because we do see another mass of longbows. So we're going to get a nice little cleanup here. You can see army value-wise, we're fairly close. He's at 2,000 army value, we're at 2,600. But we got more Mangadai coming out, and we're going to be able to really cement a victory here. We knew that he had a line of reinforcements coming, so we tried to pick up some reinforcements. We're able to find a couple of free kills here. And that's 1 plus of always running with a scout in your army. So that's what our scout is doing. He's helping us find this army. This is a 4 spearman army, 11 longbows. So his spearman can do some damage here, but we snipe him out pretty immediately. And you can see his longbows are working on a Mangadai, but we're doing a good job fighting him. And we also have our upgrades. He's got no upgrades at this point, so we're able to really clean up this army really dominantly. And we need to push across here with this army now. And we should probably, at this point, stop investing in army. Because we've killed his army, we could have stopped investing in army and just gone for an age up here at this point. So our traders are going. We're producing traders again. We're at 7 traders. We're a little bit behind, and that's another thing. Again, we're floating a ton of wood here. I think it would have been worth it in this scenario. Um, Maybe pull one trader or one villager off to drop a couple more markets. So that could have been one reaction, was dropping another market to start pushing. I think building more Mangadai, more horsemen was not the right call here. We didn't need more army really. You can see he's re-upped his army. We'd be able to fight this army in the field, but we can't fight this army under his TC really. So I think, splitting our army was an okay call, but it really was a mistake on our part because and so he's starting to get his +1 damage right now, and so we were way ahead of him in terms of our military, and that's why we were able to take that one fight so dominantly. It really does help. But again, here these little raids we're gonna have here, and we can bring in our other Mangadai to raid over here at the same time. Yeah, it's a good move. We're not able to snipe one, but we're just going to move around, and we just needed to keep moving and harassing this wood line. And while we harassed this wood line, we needed to commit really under this, letting him get this up and not running through was a pretty big deal. If we had been able to get both of his whole army back here and our whole army back here, we're actually able to win this fight and push him off of his resources. So kind of a big deal that we didn't do much there. We're able to pick off one villager, and right now we've got 7 Mangadai and 1 Keshik, and he's pushing us back with 9 longbow. We 100% win this fight, 100%, and we just had to run towards this wood line and then commit there. So a little bit unfortunate that we don't fully commit there, because that was an opportunity again to push him back into where we needed him. He's starting to pull. We're fairly close in eco counts, but we've only gotten up to a couple of traders. So again, we're floating a lot of wood here, and we're not using our resources really properly, macroing it very well because we're too focused microing. And at this point, we're looking for a castle planning. Again, this extra army here is what, 240, I believe. Yeah, 240, 440. 440 resources here. That's enough for aging up. We could be aging up right now. So that's another thing too. We could be basically aging up right now, and our opponent is setting stuff up here. But even this army here, we could fight with this army. So not taking this fight, letting him reestablish map control here because we were scared of a couple of longbows was a really big mistake. We definitely could have 100% fought this, push him off of this, push him off of his speed, and harassed us. Even if we had traded out our army for his, it would have been better than just sitting there doing nothing really. Try to get some raids here, but again, all of his spearmen are over here, and his army is all concentrated. So he moves his longbows forward, and this is a huge chance to really be able to snipe out his army here. Again, we didn't see it. It was just out of a con range. But yeah, again, it's partly because we weren't aggressive enough. So he's going for King's Palace. We're going for Kurultai. We're tapping up with more than he is. And this is kind of where there's a little bit of a discrepancy in eco counts. But we're only going with one market at a time. We're not really booming adequately to keep up with him at this time. So a little bit of a big mistake happening here in terms of our macro that happened. This army that we had was a better army than his, and we basically just let him age up freely without harassing. If we had conglomerated our armies, my army here, and just fought him here, we 100% win. And you see, I run from this army, not knowing that I can just straight win this fight. And I don't realize that I have horsemen and Keshik here, and they're not attacking. So that was kind of a big mistake. Because we could have 100% cleaned this up earlier. And now that we're pushing this, we're going to start burning here. But again, we've lost so many of our units on the second wave. You can see how handily we win this battle. Really dominantly. And we fall back now because kind of have to, because the spears have shown up. But if we had fought this initially over here with both of our cav armies kind of conglomerating here, we could have won that fight a lot more handily. But now he's going to start producing from 3 TCs, constant villager production, and his eco count is really going to rocket ahead. We do kind of a mistake here, not taking our Kurultai and placing it in the front of our base to kind of set up. We're doing a pretty good job in terms of our military infrastructure here. We have a prayer tent, we want to start picking up stuff, and a couple of siege workshops. But again, building with one villager or siege workshop is not a great idea. They take 45 seconds to pop, so yeah, a couple more villagers committed would have been really good. And we're over here, we're just taking getting some kills in here and there, but we're not doing a lot of damage, and we're really just losing these units basically for free under his towers. And we're trying to get some damage in here and there, but it's hard. He's attentive, and he's now walled in his base. So this front is the only walls that you're gonna get through, and it's really a rough deal when once your opponent has got those walls up to find ways to raid. So we just kind of have to fall back here. He's got too many spears. Mangadai here just kind of tickling their way with 7 damage a pop. Yeah, it's crazy that bows get double damage and Mangadai don't get something. Really bad engage here. Fighting into brace spears. Kurultai on the way, far away. No reason to take this fight. Upgrades are coming through right now. Upgrades are coming through. Mango is almost up. Army's coming through. Kurultai's not set up. So this is a really bad fight for us. This is one of those instances where if we had fought this properly under Kurultai throughout this whole time over here with our siege, with our army, we would have been able to 100% kind of hold this and push him back. At this point, you can see the eco difference is starting to pull really far ahead in his favor. And we're making traders, but we've idled our TC for a significant amount of time. And yeah, we're so busy with micro and doing a bunch of different things, we aren't able to keep a really good battle going for us. Dropping this springhold might have been a little bit of a mistake. We get a little bit aggressive here, a little bit overly aggressive. He just masses up his army and he's going to A-move us. Again, we should have been setting up back here, possibly, the prep. If we had 2 mangoes, we also would have been in a little bit better spot. But the big thing is that we just lose all of our units. We lose all of our veteran upgrades. We could have fought this with veteran upgrades under Kurultai and we'd have done a lot better. I'm not taking that fight under, I don't know why I'm building a ram, but I'm building a ram. We're getting 1 mangonel out, and so this ram could have been another mangonel. We could possibly be at potentially 4 mangonels right now, which 4 mangonels on this longbow line is a whole different story. 4 mangonels dropping on this, with the initial Keshik match that we had, we're definitely going to be able to hold this and push him back. So really big mistake on our part. You can see what 1 mangonel almost does. With 2 mangonels, it's going to clear that longbow mass in 1 shot. So again, another little bit of mistake, not only having 1 mangonel there, not having the other one in support. And he sees blood in the water at this point, and he's going for a full all-in push. We do try to protect our mangonel here. It's just a little bit too little too late. And yeah, the mangonel, the smart movement on the mangonels is really, really impressive stuff. So yeah, he's just streaming troops across here, and we try to get some towers in here to start shooting some villagers, kind of mess up his wood line. But again, it's not going to be enough. We don't really have many stacked defenses because we've been so aggressive this whole game. We do have a mangonel. We're gonna try to get a shot on these longbows and get some decent shots, like a decent shot there, but it's not gonna be enough, really. And yeah, he's got men at arms, so he's just gonna push these men at arms at us, and we're not gonna really hold here. So the big thing was committing all those troops, running cavalry into brace spears, all those things. Instead of just peeling back and letting my upgrades coming through. I know that I've got double siege workshops, that he's super committed into foot infantry and archers. His army is about 3/4 archers, so if I had mangonels, I would have been in a much better spot to hold those fights. I could have been microing the mangonels into shooting his archer balls, and I would have been okay. At this point, he's kind of dispersed. He's pushing into us. he's got the eco behind us, the sustain, and we're barely being able to keep up our food eco. We're short on sheep, and yeah, this is kind of just it just kind of falls apart for us at this point. So we're up to a lot of traders, and we're also floating 8 ton of gold. So again, another mistake here is we forget to utilize a lot of our gold that we had. And yeah, at this point we kind of knew it was pretty much over. We were gonna try to scrap it out a little bit, try to see if we could stabilize here, but he's looking to go imp, and he's got the army just pushing just in waves. And so we had one chance to kind of hold this major push and take a really good fight. And yeah, we take a really bad fight, lose all of our army, and he's able just to park on all of our productions. This is in one spot, and it's just kind of over from there. We're trying to get something going, get some more seized workshops and things like that, but it's not going to be enough. We have trade going on behind the scenes, and he hasn't looked at the trade yet, but he's one small step away from getting to the trade. And yeah, it's just at this point it's just basically over at this point. He's full out, and he's pulling 35 villagers to drop a Berkshire Palace. So we knew it, when he's dropping the Berkshire that he's over. And we are just kind of playing here to get a feel for the game is all. Because we're going to end up playing a few more matches after this, which I'll probably do on different videos. But yeah, this is this is the trade horse build. It showed a lot of good potential early on. A couple of it's important to commit with that early aggression, to deny that second TC. So that was something else that we have to I definitely have to look into, is committing that with that second TC a little bit better, into denying that second TC a little bit better, because we did a good job denying quite a bit of time, but we could have 100% denied the the second TC going up probably another minute if we fully commit there. And yeah, just that fight, we didn't have the forces to win the fight. I don't know why I felt like I did. And especially running my Keshiks directly into the spearman, I should have been running my Keshiks toward his longbowman and trying to pull his units back. But even in that fight, it wasn't necessary. I I had he had the upgrades. He had he didn't really have the upgrades, and I had the military upgrades. So we definitely had. See, I killed more than him, but this kind of kill ratio when you're going cavalry is not very good. You just had a lot more food, almost equal wood, and we had a lot more gold. And you can see we were floating gold, so definitely a little bit of a, and that I think it's just a little bit of issues with macro there. I think getting our range out earlier, committing to that early aggression, and then after all those mistakes where we could have probably put the game a lot more in our favor, at that point when we both were at castle and he was pushing us, I think just not engaging that fight, taking a fight under Kurultai with all of those units would have been a lot better under TC, and getting reinforcements there, getting those mangonels out. I think that would have changed the dynamics of that fight and the dynamic of our army a lot sooner. So um, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.